Canucks win 4-1 over the Winnipeg Jets. A big win for the Canucks, first time beating Winnipeg since 2016, like I mentioned in our preview video last night, or I guess this morning when it came out. Starting goalies in this one, Thatcher Demko coming into this one feeling a bit hot. Won the last two games he's played with a 909 save percentage, or 3.65 goals against average. Connor Hellebuyck has been hot as well, 4-1 for the Jets thus far. Only a 906 save percentage, but a 2.6 goals against average. Hellebuyck has never lost to Vancouver in regulation time coming into this game, which the Canucks do snap. No lineup changes coming into this one for the Canucks. Demko took the start instead of Holtby, which made sense. Jake and Olli Juolevi are still in the press box. Just a quick shout out, we have 300 subscribers now. So hello everybody, thank you for subscribing. In the first period, 30 seconds in, actually 29 seconds in, Brock Boeser gets his 7th of the year. Pettersson sort of dumped it in. Edler went in, caught up and picked up the puck in the corner, played out in front. Brock Boeser's sitting in the slot. There's like 4 guys standing around him, and Boeser just goes to the backhand, beats Hellebuyck to make it 1-0, but just 94 seconds later, not a lot of seconds later, Mason Appleton ties the game up. Off the face-off, they have a great set play where Appleton comes off of the left side of the face-off circle, cuts across, takes a wrist shot far post. Great shot from Mason Appleton to tie the game at 1. A minute and a half later or so, Kyle Connor took a hooking penalty. Canucks didn't get anything done on that power play. 11:43 to go in the first period. Nils Hoglander had an outstanding shift here. Just battling along the boards, there was probably 3 plays where he just outplayed his counterpart from the Jets, earned the puck back, made a great play. Puck ends up bouncing off the top of the net, falls right on top, or right in front of Hellebuyck, like right here. Hoglander bats it in to make it 2-1. The Jets dominated the last few minutes of the period, but Demko held strong shots in the first period. Vancouver 8, Winnipeg 13. In the second period, Horvat took a hooking penalty. One of those sort of like where you kind of hug the guy against the wall. He didn't like the call, but it's one that they're going to call every time. Nate Schmidt had a shorthanded chance, didn't score there. It was a scary power play from the Jets, so they had a lot of good chances, but penalty was killed off. 13:07 to go in the second period, so 7 minutes in. Ben shot from the point. Looks like it's going right at the chest of Hellebuyck. McEwen comes from behind the net, gets his stick up and on it. It goes off and then it goes to the side of Hellebuyck, so off of the post almost and in to make it 3-1 Vancouver. Not a lot else going on there for a while. Forbort took a slashing penalty, but Lowry had a breakaway shorthanded, and then he bobbled the puck and lost it into the corner. Just sort of a messy power play for the Canucks in general, but it was killed off by the Jets. And then later in the second period, Mark Scheifele took a cross-checking penalty on Hoglander. Pearson cross-checks him as retaliation. We go to 4-on-4. Couple of chances by Pettersson and Schmidt, but nothing coming out of that power play. Shots in the second period. Vancouver 15, Winnipeg 5. So a dominant second period from Vancouver, and that trend continued into the third. Edler had a rocket off of the bar 5 minutes into the period. And then about a minute later, Pettersson's alone in front. Neil Pionk comes across. So Pettersson's trying to make a move, a little head fake to get Hellebuyck to move out of the way so we can slide it past him. Neil Pionk comes in and does the old chop right on the stick. It looked like he got him in the hands to me, but no call coming on that one. 12 minutes to go in the third period, 8 minutes in. Wheeler took a holding penalty on Miller, exactly the same as the penalty that Bo Horvat took in the first period. Basically, text was exactly the same. Some decent chances, but again, killed off by Winnipeg. With about 9 minutes to go in the third period, it was a little scary. Jalen Chatfield took a holding penalty on Ehlers, kind of wrapped him up. And then it looked like there was going to be another penalty because the back ref put his arm up as well. And we go to commercial break with basically Rick Ball saying, well, it's going to be a 5-on-3 for the Jets, a great chance to get back in this one. And I'm just thinking, oh no, this is bad. We come back and they're like, oh, actually, no, one of the penalties was on Andrew Kopp. It's 4-on-4, so the Canucks are fine. The Canucks had a great set of chances on this 4-on-4. There was a one-timer from Pettersson that Hellebuyck slid to his left to rob. Brock Boeser had a shot from alone, sort of on the left side of the net. Hellebuyck made the save. And then Jets come back on a 2-on-1, and Nate Schmidt with the sliding back, reaching out the stick. Perfect breakup on the 2-on-1. Excellent play from Nate Schmidt there. Hellebuck gets pulled with about 2.5 minutes to go. There's a broken stick lying on the ice as the Canucks try to clear it. Hits that broken stick, so it stops up for Brock Boeser, who picks it up, shoots it in from basically his own blue line for his second of the night, 8th of the year already for Brock Boeser in just 11 games. Empty netter for him. So that makes it 4-1, and that's how the game ended. So a big win for the boys. I didn't get the exact shots at the end. The third period was something like 15-6, if I had to guess, for the shots. Again, another dominant period from the Canucks. So you really love to see that. So if you loved that game, make sure to hit that like button. Our game pucks for this one, and they're pretty obvious. We'll start with Winnipeg. Winnipeg, I think they played okay, but Hellebuck was good. He let in 3 goals, but he is the reason that Winnipeg stayed in that game for so long, right? The Canucks had like 38 shots in the game. So Hellebuck was really impressive, made a lot of big saves on high percentage chances. And for the Vancouver Canucks, it's Nils Hoglander. He is so fun to watch. He's so relentless. He's so tenacious. He's exactly what Jake was supposed to be. He reminds me so much of guys like Yannick Hansen, even like a small Todd Bertuzzi kind of, just the way he grinds in the corners, earns the puck, wins the battles, makes the plays, and he was rewarded with that one shift where he scored on Hellebuck by batting that one in. Honorable mention, of course, to Thatcher Demko. Again, another game where he only allowed 1 goal, and that was a rocket of a shot. You can't blame him too much on that one. So a great game from Demko. Our pluses and minuses, I've got a lot of pluses, not a lot of minuses. The Canucks are now above 500, so we're going to ride the positivity train again. We'll start with the minuses. First was that Toronto and Edmonton went to OT. That sucks. 3-point game there. That's kind of all I have on the minuses, to be honest. The Canucks played a really complete game tonight. I'll start with then the middle. I have Tyler Myers. Literally, if you look at my sheet here, I have Tyler Myers right in the middle of my plus minuses. Please excuse my handwriting. Tyler Myers is chaos, and the stanchion on Twitter, Wyatt Arndt, has always been tweeting out that Tyler Myers is just chaotic neutral, and today was the perfect example of that. He had this one shift. It was in the second period. I think it was on the 4-on-4, maybe, where he literally just skated around the Jets zone with the puck for like 3 laps. Just like, he hasn't looked that good skating ever in a Canucks uniform. But then also in, I think, the third period, he literally makes a pass backwards from his own corner directly into the slot for a Winnipeg chance. So he does a bunch of good stuff, a bunch of bad stuff. It's just chaos with Tyler Myers out there, and it's fun to watch. On the plus side, Lotto line is looking good. JT Miller is great back there. Boeser, obviously, with an excellent game. Nils Hoglander is relentless. Like I just mentioned on the Game Puck segment, he's just awesome to watch. So entertaining. He just battles, and you love to see that. A player you can really get behind. The great second period. I wrote this down after the second period because the third period was just as good. But we've seen the Canucks a lot where they've had a strong first period, or they've at least survived a first period, and they collapse in the second period. This is not just this year. This is last year. This is just sort of a Canucks thing where the second period, they just sort of fall apart. But they didn't. They had their best second period. Probably their best period of the season was the second period of this game. So it was just a solid outing from them. The forecheck. There was a lot of dump and chases for the Canucks, and they won a lot of the battles. So forecheck gets a big plus from me. A complete game, and this is just offensive and defensive, where they kept Winnipeg out, again only allowing 5 shots in the second, something like 6 shots in the third, so defense was great, and they were spending a lot of time in the offensive zone, getting high danger chances. Again, Hellebuck was outstanding. Any other goalie, it's probably something that's probably like a 5 or 6-1 game. Thatcher Demko, of course, gets a plus for me anytime you allow only 1 goal, and he's won 3 straight now. Big plus for him. You got to think Monday night he'll probably get the start again against Montreal, and they'll give it to Holtby on the Tuesday because it's a back-to-back. And then the biggest one for me is aggressively defending the lead, and this is something that the Canucks haven't done a lot of. And we've seen games where they've been up a goal or 2 going to the third period, and you see guys like Beagle and Sutter and Roussel playing 10 minutes of the third period to try to hold the lead. And that didn't happen tonight. The Canucks spent almost the entire third period while up 2 goals on the Jets. They spent the entire game, or the entire third period, in the Winnipeg zone. And that's something that they just haven't done a lot of in the past. And that's such a good sign. And it's Craig Simpson mentioned on the broadcast, it's really hard to score 180 feet from the net. And that's exactly what the Jets had to deal with. They just didn't get any chances from their own zone. Next game is Monday, 4 p.m. against the Montreal Canadiens. And then they also play Tuesday at 4 p.m. So both those games kind of early. Make sure you're getting off work early, getting home, getting food, getting some beer in time for the 4 o'clock starts. Of course, as always, I'll have a preview video up tomorrow at some point to preview the Montreal series. I think they go into Toronto after that. So it's going to be a tough, I think it's a 6-game road trip. So Canucks are going to have their work cut out for them there. That's all I have for you tonight. The Vancouver Canucks, like I said, beat the Jets 4-1 for the first time in over 4 years. You love to see it. Again, if you enjoyed this video, hit like, hit subscribe. Join our Discord. Link to that's always in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed that game. I hope I will see you again on Monday for the Canucks and the Habs.